these are glasses. Yes, they are. And these are also glasses. Someone told me that these are also called glasses and these are also called glasses. You know, there are more words like that in English which have the same pronunciation sometimes, but they always have the same spelling and different meanings. How will you know which word means what? Don't worry, I'm here. My name is Michelle and I'm going to help you learn homonyms in English. So stay tuned with me for new homonyms that you're learning today. So peeps, we have some sentences here on the board. And you have a task today in this lesson. You have to find out which words have the same spelling. It's not a very difficult task, isn't it? So let's look at the first sentence. So which two words have the same spelling in this sentence? Of course, these two words, right? But they have different meanings and also different pronunciations. Let me speak out this sentence for you. The bandage was wound around the wound. I pronounce this word as it is written, wound, but this one is pronounced as wound. So what do we mean by the word wound? Have you heard of the word wind, which is a verb? Wind means to tie something around something, to wind something. This is simply a past tense or a past participle for the verb wind. For the verb wind. And a wound, as you would know, or if you don't know, then a wound is an injury or maybe a cut that you have somewhere on your body whenever you get hurt. So wound is an injury. Right. And wound is also a noun. So as you can see that this one here is a verb and this one is a noun, but they have same spelling but different meanings and also different pronunciation. So be careful with their use, do not mix them up. Let's read the next sentence. First, find out the words that have the same spelling. You may have already done that. These two words. So, he could lead if he would get the lead out. What does that mean? So you might have heard of the word lead. This is a verb again. So lead means to show someone the way or to guide someone. So my friend Mark, he could lead, but only if he would get the lead out. But what is lead? So lead is a heavy metal. It's actually the heaviest metal. And it is a noun. And we pronounce this word as L-E-D. And this one as L-E-E-D. So this is pronounced as lead. He could lead if he would get the lead out. This means that he could lead us if he could be a bit more faster. If he could get the metal out of his body and get faster, he could lead all of us. So to get the lead out is a phrasal verb. Right, so let's look at the next sentence that we have. The soldier decided to desert his dessert in the desert. Oh, that's almost like a tongue twister, isn't it? Let's look at these two words. So in this sentence, the homonyms are these two and not this one because it has a different spelling. So let's not get into this one right now. But otherwise, dessert is basically a sweet dish or a, sweet item that you eat. So let's look at the first one. The soldier decided to desert. We are stressing this word on the second syllable. We are pronouncing it as desert. Desert means to leave something. So when you have a duty to fulfill and you do not fulfill it, that's when you desert it. So if a husband leaves his wife, he's deserting her or abandoning her. It means same as abandoning. The soldier decided to desert his dessert in the desert. So this one is pronounced differently. Here the stress is on the first syllable. We do not call it dessert, we call it desert, and desert is a noun. Desert is a very common word, an arid area where there is no water and there's a lot of sand. I didn't need to explain that though. So we have a verb here and a noun there. Same spelling but different meaning and different pronunciation because we are stressing at different syllables. Let's look at the fourth sentence. Since there is no time like the present, he thought it was time to present the present. So, no time like the present, with the stress on the first syllable. Present means the time that is going on right now, and it's a noun. Time that is going on. And he thought it was time to present the present. So present, what do we mean by present? Present means to offer something to somebody. But here, the stress is on the second syllable. He thought it was time to present the present. And this present actually means a gift, a wrapped gift that you would like to offer to someone. A gift. And this is also a noun. But to present something, which means to offer something, is actually a verb. Right. Now we move on to the next sentence that we have. I did not object to the object. As you can hear, I pronounced them differently because of word stress. I repeat myself. I did not object to the object. So the stress here is on the second syllable. I did not object. Object means to disagree with something. Let's find out what I did not disagree with. I did not disagree or I did not object to the object. So object could be anything that you can see or touch, like a marker or a chair. If you do not object to an object, this means you are agreeing with it or you like it. To the object. This is a noun. So to disagree with something is obviously a verb, but an object that you can see or touch is a noun and it's stressed on the first syllable. The next sentence that we have, the insurance was invalid for the invalid. I'll repeat, the insurance was invalid for the invalid. So here I stress on the syllable in the middle, invalid. So invalid is something which is not applicable anymore. Not applicable. Who do you think insurance will not apply to? I believe to a person who is very, very sick. So a person who is sick is called an invalid. With the stress on the first syllable, a sick person. And this is a noun, and this is an adjective. So invalid and invalid. The next sentence that we have is, there was a row among the oarsmen about how to row. So there was a row. This word is a noun, but what does it mean to have a row? To have a row means to have a quarrel or a disagreement with someone. So if you have a verbal disagreement or an argument with someone, that is having a row. To have a quarrel. So there was a quarrel among the oarsmen. Oarsmen are people who oar the boat, okay? And they were having a disagreement about how to row. This is also same as this row, but it does not mean the same thing. To row means to propel the boat or to move the boat. To move the boat in the water using propellers. And to move the boat is of course a verb, and this one is a noun which means to have a quarrel. But be careful, this one has the same pronunciation, both of them. So you need to be utterly careful because they're same pronunciation, same spelling, but different meanings. Now we look at the next sentence that we have. They were too close to close the door. So the first one, too close. When someone is too close to you, it means they're very near to you in space. Someone is standing next to you means they're very close to you. Very near. So this marker is too close to me. It's very near to me. This is an adjective. Something which is close to you, it's an adjective. But they were too close to close the door. So if someone is just standing next to the door, maybe they're not able to close the door. So this close means to shut the door, which is now a verb. So again, it's time to be very careful because close, close have same pronunciation, same spelling, but entirely different meanings. Right, so the next sentence that we have is, the buck does funny things when the does are present. You must have guessed which words are we talking about. Does and does. You might be thinking what are does, but to tell you that, I'll first tell you what a buck is. So a buck is a male deer or an antelope. And doe is a female deer, but in plural, they are called does. Female deer. And of course, deer is a noun. And this one here, the buck does. Does is the second person for do, as you would know, for the verb do. So, you know, when you read this sentence, you might be really confused, but you can obviously understand when I pronounce it that this is does and this is does. Let's look at the last sentence that we have. Upon seeing the tear in the painting, I shed a tear. So I'm pronouncing these two words very differently. This is a very common mistake. We end up pronouncing both of these words in the same manner, but they're pronounced differently. Upon seeing the tear, T-A-I-R is how I would pronounce it. But I'd write it, of course, like that. So upon seeing the tear in the painting, tear is when something is cut into parts or something is, you know, there's a cut in the painting. That's when I say tear. And it is a verb. So upon seeing a tear in the painting, I was so sad that I shed a tear. Tear is like, obviously you know what a tear is. When you're crying or when you're sad, there's water flowing out of your eyes. So I would pronounce this as T-E-E-R. So tear and tear. This one being a noun and this one being a verb. Yeah, I've already written that for you. So you've seen all these sentences and you've learned a lot of homonyms. These are the words you need to be very careful about when you're speaking, reading, or writing, or maybe even listening. Some areas of frequent errors by native speakers, non-native speakers, almost everyone. So I hope this was really helpful for you. Come back for more lessons with me. Bye-bye.